Hello, you bread machine lovers, bakers, homemakers. Welcome to Butterfly Meadows Homestead. I'm Dorinda. Today, I am excited to be bringing you the 1 pound loaf of bread. So as I got to thinking about making the 1 pound loaf, I remembered that I had this smaller KBS machine. It's called a keepeez. And I actually did a little comparison on it and the regular KBS. This is a smaller machine made to make smaller loaves of bread, and it really cannot handle. I would not use it to make a 2 pound loaf. The menu says 1.5 pound and 2 pound loaf. So it gives the impression that it can make a 2 pound loaf. But I think this menu should say 1 pound and 1.5 pound loaf, not a 1.5 pound and a 2 pound loaf. And I think it does fine for the 1 pound and the 1.5 pound loaves of bread. The very first thing that we want to do is oil our paddle and our stem so that we can get it out. And I always take the whole end of the paddle and I dip it into my oil. And then I put it on the stem and make sure that it comes off easily. And so there we have oiled our stem and our paddle. In this recipe, I am going to be using some applesauce. You can leave this out if you want to. If you don't have applesauce, this is unsweetened applesauce. It will help make your bread so much softer. It improves the texture so much. You do not taste it in the bread. But I've got 2 tablespoons of applesauce here. So I am going to put that into my measuring cup first, is my 2 tablespoons of applesauce. And hey, if you want to use 3 tablespoons of applesauce, go right ahead. It won't hurt a thing. But you go ahead and you put that in your measuring cup because we need 2/3 of a cup of liquid. You could use water, but I'm going to be using milk. So I want 2/3 of a cup. So I'm going to find 2/3 on my measuring cup here. And there's my 2/3 mark. And I'm going to take my milk and I'm going to fill my measuring cup up to 2/3. So there I have my applesauce and my milk. This also you don't have to do, but I think you get a little bit better loaf. I am going to put this in the microwave for about 30 seconds or less, just to knock the chill off of the milk and the applesauce, and that will help me get a better rise in my bread. So here I have the milk warmed up. I'm just going to stick my finger in there and make sure it's not too hot and it's not feels lukewarm. It feels really good. So to this, I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This is pink Himalayan salt, and we're going to put in a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then here I have 1 teaspoon of yeast, and I'm going to add that 1 teaspoon of yeast. I have 2 tablespoons of white sugar, and you could use honey if you wanted to, and I'm going to put that in. And then here I have 1.5 tablespoons of oil. I'm just going to put that in. I'm just going to stir that up a little bit, and then we're going to pour it right into our pan, making sure we get everything out of the cup. Now here I have 1.5 cups of bread flour. Everybody measures their flour different, so I did go ahead and weigh this, and it weighed out to be about 248 to 250 grams of flour. I measured 1.5 cups of flour is what I measured out, and I just fluff up my flour and scoop it out is how I measure it. And so that is going to go right into our pan. Okay, and now we are going to put our pan into our keepeez, and you put it in and you twist it so that it's locked. Now I'll bring you down and show you how to set the settings. Okay, let's try this again, because the first time that I explained, I forgot to hit record. But so on the keepeez machine, we want to go down, we want to give this a pre-mix, because it gives the bread so much better of a texture. So we are going down to menu option 11, which is the raw dough cycle. And then we are going to hit start. And then we are going to take a look on the inside and we're going to watch it mix. We're going to check it in a couple of minutes and we're going to scrape down the sides and see if we need to add any flour or any liquid. So it's been mixing about 1 minute, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and scrape down the sides because I want to make sure that we get all of that mixed in. I'm also going to go ahead and check my dough ball. I like the feel of this dough ball. I know it's only going to get better as it continues to mix. So I'm going to let this continue to mix. You can let it go the entire 23 minutes, or you can let it go for 10 minutes if you're in a hurry, but I'm just going to let it go probably about 15 minutes, and then we will move on. Okay, so our raw dough cycle finished actually probably about 20 minutes ago. It finished, but I was on the phone and couldn't get to it. But that's okay because that just gives it, as you can see here, the dough has risen some. And that's good. That just gives it an extra rise, which also improves the flavor and texture of your bread. So anytime you want to let it sit for a little while and rise 20, 30 minutes before you move on, then that's awesome too. So we're doing a 1.5 pound loaf. So I want to make sure I select the 1.5 pound loaf. And you can't hardly see it, but it is showing that it's on the 1.5 pound loaf. And I'm going to go for a medium crust. So the color is light, medium, and dark. And I'm going to go to medium, 1.5 pound loaf. I'm on menu option number 1, which is soft bread. And we are going to go ahead and hit start. And so it will knead the dough again and continue on with its cycle. And we'll be back when it's time to take the paddle out. I'll bring you back. There is 1 hour and 36 minutes left on the bread cycle. And I wanted to show you guys how to take the paddle out and talk about when to take the paddle out. So if you look on the menu right now, you can see, if you look really close, it's tiny, but you can see that it's still on ferment 1. And in less than a minute, it is going to do what is called the shape, which is actually the knocking down of the dough. And I'm going to try to catch it here on camera when it does this. And after that shaping is when you take the paddle out. Okay, there it goes. There's 1 turn, 2, 3, usually 4. And that's usually all there is. Let's make sure I don't want to get my finger broke or anything. But that did 5. That's good. The more the better, I always say. Okay, so that's all it's going to do, and that has shaped our dough. So as you can see, hopefully in there, it's hard to get the light down in there, but if you want a prettier ball of dough, which will give you a prettier loaf of bread, it's a good idea to take the paddle out. Now, if you can, hopefully you can tell here, I have oiled my hands. So I just put some oil, cooking oil on my hands. I'm going to actually lift the dough ball out. The paddle came out with it. I'm going to remove the paddle. And then I am going to shape this dough ball back into a nice round ball. And this helps to make sure there's no big air bubbles, because big air bubbles in your dough ball equal holes in your bread. And so I'm just kind of pulling it and pinching it together on the bottom to make a nice tight top, which will help it rise. That's what it looks like on the bottom where I've pulled it and pinched it together. And then we just place the dough ball back down into the pan. And now there's 1 hour and 34 minutes left. 50 of those minutes are going to be spent rising. in 45 minutes baking. So I want to show you the program working timetable and show you how to calculate when to take your paddle out. So I had set myself a timer so I knew when to come and this final knockdown was going to take place. So in the manual, if you go to the menu that you have selected, which we had soft bread, and it tells you the total working time for the 1.5 pound loaf was 3 hours and 6 minutes. And if I go to the end, it tells me when it will dispense the fruit. So at 2 hours and 33 minutes would be when you would put your nuts or fruit, raisins in if you had anything. But here's what we want to look at. So the bake is 45 minutes on the 1.5 pound loaf, which is what I chose. And it says it ferments for 50 before it bakes. And this is the shape, which lasted 25 seconds. So I knew that when I had an hour and 35 minutes left on the menu, that would be when I would take my paddle out. So you can do this if you want to set yourself a reminder as to when to take your paddle out and you don't want to have to babysit the machine. So, you know, I looked at my machine and it had, I don't know, 2 hours and 40 minutes left or something when I got ready to set my timer. And so I said, well, I need to come back when there's an hour and 35 minutes left, which I did like 40, so I would have extra time. And I set myself a timer so that I could come back and remove the paddle. You always get a prettier loaf of bread if you take the paddle out and reshape your dough. It's not necessary, you don't have to, but you may wind up with a lopsided loaf of bread or a loaf of bread with a big hole in the middle, which makes making sandwiches kind of difficult. But I just wanted to share that with you, and we'll be back when this is ready to take out. It is time to get our bread out of the machine. Here you can see, remember this is a 1 pound loaf. You'll want to shake your pan to make sure your loaf is loose in the pan. If it's not, just let it sit for a couple of minutes in the pan and then take it out. You don't want to leave it in the pan for a long time because then it will sweat and become soggy. So as long as it's loose, you can take it out. That is a cute little 1 pound loaf of bread. So look at this beautiful little 1 pound loaf of bread. It's light and fluffy. We're going to let it cool off and then we'll slice into it and see what that crumb looks like. But right now, from this point of view, it is absolutely beautiful. So we sliced into this beautiful 1 pound loaf of bread, and we have a beautiful, soft texture bread. It's just a beautiful loaf of bread. It's very soft, smells delicious. It's going to make some wonderful sandwiches. If you want more 1 pound loaf recipes, I can go back and do 1 pound loaf recipes for the other videos I've done already. If you want to let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this 1 pound loaf. To store your bread, get yourself a plastic bag. I buy these bread bags off of Amazon, and it's just a larger little tie plastic bag, and you want to keep air away from your bread. I always like to keep it stacked up together and try to keep as much of the air out of the bag as possible. And I just tie it with a little bread tie. Now this will keep on the counter fresh for several days, 3 or 4 days, depending on how hot your house is. If you want to keep it a long time, you can put it in the freezer and it'll keep for a long time in the freezer. The refrigerator is not a great place to keep your bread. That does seem to dry it out. But if you go ahead and slice it and then put it in the freezer, you can take out what you need at a time. But if you're going to be eating it within 3 or 4 days, you can just leave it on the counter as long as you keep the bag tied up and keep the air out of the bag, it should stay pretty fresh. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you will watch some more of my videos. I enjoyed being with you today. God bless. Bye-bye.